It was the most unsettling night of my life. I was driving home late, the road was dark, and the rain was coming down in sheets. I just wanted to get home, but then I saw her. A young woman standing on the side of the road, drenched, shivering, and all alone. I should have just kept driving, but I didn't. I pulled over, and she looked at me with these sad, pleading eyes. "Can you give me a ride?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. I didn't think twice. I unlocked the door, and she slid into the passenger seat, soaking wet. As we started driving, she told me she had been at a party and somehow got lost on her way home. She said her parents lived just a few blocks away. I could see she was cold and scared, so I sped up, wanting to get her home quickly. The whole time I kept glancing over at her. She was pale, almost ghostly, with her wet hair sticking to her face. She didn't say much, just stared out the window, but there was something off about her. A feeling I couldn't shake, like the air had gotten colder since she got in the car. Finally, she told me to take a left onto a narrow, quiet street. As we drove down the lane, I noticed how silent everything had become, like the world had just stopped. I turned to ask her if we were close, but when I did, my heart nearly stopped. The seat next to me was empty. She was gone. No sound, no sign, just gone. I slammed on the brakes, my mind racing. I was alone on that dark road, and the only thing left of her was a wet spot on the seat. Panic set in, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. Was I losing my mind? Had she really been there? Then I saw it. A crumpled piece of paper on the seat. I picked it up with trembling hands. It had an address on it, her address. The one she said was her parents' house. I knew I had to go there. I had to know what had just happened. So I drove to the address, my hands gripping the steering wheel so hard they hurt. When I got there, I saw a small, old house with a light on inside. I got out of the car, still shaking, and walked up to the door. I knocked and an elderly woman answered. I hesitated, not sure how to even begin. I gave your daughter a ride," I stammered. The woman's face fell. "My daughter?" she said softly, her voice breaking. "She died in a car accident, years ago." I felt like the ground was going to swallow me whole. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The girl I had picked up was dead, but I had seen her, spoken to her, tried to help her. My mind couldn't make sense of it. The woman looked at me with sad, understanding eyes. "You're not the first," she said quietly. "People see her sometimes, on that road, trying to come home." I stumbled back to my car, my head spinning. I didn't know what to think, what to believe. All I knew was that I had picked up a ghost, a young woman who couldn't find her way home, even in death. And I had tried to help her, only to realize too late that she was beyond help. After that night, I couldn't stop thinking about her. I started reading up on stories about the Vanishing Hitchhiker. I found out that there are other stories just like mine. Drivers picking up lost souls who disappear before they reach their destination. Some people think these spirits are trapped, reliving their last moments, hoping for closure. Others say they're trying to warn us of something, maybe even of our own fate. But all I know is what I saw, what I felt. The chill in the air, the look in her eyes, the way she just vanished like she was never there at all. It's something I'll never forget. I stopped driving that road, never wanted to go near it again. But the memory of that night, of her, still haunts me. I think it always will. So if you're ever driving down a lonely road late at night and you see someone needing a ride, think twice before you stop. You never know who or what you might pick up.